How's it going, everybody? And we're back. We're now on to the final update of the Deuce and a Half, the lovely little kit from TAMIYA, 1/35 scale, 2.5 ton 6x6 cargo truck, also known as Deuce and a Half, which later went on to become the M35 as far as I can remember. Might be right with that one, might be wrong, I don't know. But anyway, with the truck itself, just doing the last finishing touches on that. Last finishing touches that I do for this is I'm after giving it its last dusting, okay, which was a sort of an overspray of the of buff, yes, buff paint, XF57 buff, okay. Give it a kind of an overspray from about a foot away. All you want is just kind of a dusting on that. Gives a nice kind of a dusty look. And now I'm giving it the very last stage, which is a dry brushing with silver, okay, or aluminium in this case. Not over everything, obviously, because a lot of it is wood, but over the metal pieces and in areas that's going to get a lot of traffic and things that will get kind of paint will have worn off a little bit. Now I'm only doing it in some places. I'm not doing an awful lot of it either, just doing it a little hint here and there, okay, and I'll show you what I'm doing now in a second. Also, I'm after giving all the stowage its base coat. So what I'll do is I'll move the camera itself, okay, there's my workbench, okay, here we go, onto the workbench, ta-da, there's my little laptop, look, there you are. There we go, and I can get that done to work like that. Okay, so I use this XF16 flat aluminium. Get a little bit on our brush. Right, what we're doing is we're rubbing off 80% of that. Okay, so we want to just still wanted a bit of silver on it. Okay. Now, if we see here, I'm already after doing it here. You see what I mean about just the barest little bit, just to give it that hint of that little hint of the of the paint being worn away. Okay, you know, on the driver's door. And also here, right on just on that little bend there, and along the foot plate. A little bit here on the very, very front tip of that. We'll do a bit along the now you see what, I don't know if I can hide the turn down the gleam. The lighting is very bad, unfortunately. I do apologise. It's okay for me to see, but it's not so great for recording purposes, unfortunately. But I do most of my work in the evenings, so unfortunately you'll have to bear with me with that. But there, if I move that away just that little tad, you might be able to see it there. You can see it sort of around here, around by the door, on that curve here. It's just a light little bit of silver, and on here on the front of that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do a bit along the crash bar, or whatever it is along the front of that. Okay, just the hooks. Like I said, the metal parts, any parts that might get a bit of paint rubbed off it, or anything like that. Just a very, very subtle dry brushing. Now, very, very subtle, very, very little, just the barest hint. Okay, the barest hint of it. You can see where it's that little bit of a shine on it. That's what I've done. But as you see this side now, it's kind of shiny already, but that is not from the paint, or that's from the paint, should I say, the ordinary green paint. We'll give it a little bit extra. Along the fins there, the side of the engine cooling. Start to wear off a bit, just put another little bit. A bit there on the wheel. Just a very, very slight little bits. Okay. Like I said, you want it to be subtle, don't want it to be dramatic. Just where paint would have worn off due to a bit of wear and tear. As you see, I have the bit of masking tape over the glass then as well. I can remove that. Okay, as you see, that's the dust on the window, and apparently the windscreen wipers you can independently operate them. So that means that if it's just the driver in there, you can just work the driver's one. And it was one of my subscribers said that to me. He said on the juice and a half that he used to drive, you'd often only use the one. So just on the metal parts, just a slight bit of a ever so slight bit of dry brushing. Can't beat a bit of dry brushing. I like the old effects that dry brushing can give, but it can be overdone. It can be overdone, very, very easily overdone. So you want to be very, very subtle in how you do it. Make sure you only do it on something that's metal, obviously, you know, and anything that would get to the paint would have got rubbed off. I mean, don't put it in places like that it's sort of hidden. You're wondering how the hell did the paint get rubbed off in there, you know. So on hinges, there's this bar along here. It's a big metal bar. It's your hinge for it. There's some rivets there on the back of that, and we've got our little bars, our grab bars here on the back as well. Don't forget, on the inside we've got the hinges for the seats. That would have got freshly rubbed off. there. Oh, I did one wheel, I did forget to do the other front wheel. No. I'll try and get it that you can see it. Hopefully you can be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. Now you will see the effect of this much better on the photographs that I will put up with the final reveal. So at the end of this video I will have some photographs, some better close-up photographs of the various little spots here that I'm talking about now. Okay. And anything that is metal, you're just kind of highlighting it that extra little bit. Anywhere where there's an edge. So there we go. The truck is finished. I'm happy with the truck. Okay, so that's the truck done. Like I said, just a slight little bit of dry brushing on those raised parts. Now, I'm after giving excuse me, the jerry cans here a base coat. I'm after gluing them together in little clumps of 8. These 2 jerry cans here on the ends, they're going to get glued here and at the other side. So I just have to put in the olive drab on those. Okay, I have my oil cans, or oil drums should I say. They're all base coated with the NATO green was the colour I used for them. So they just need a wash. 2 kit bags, 2 milk, aka water or whatever you want, churns, and 2 kit boxes. We call them kit boxes. Okay, so just a little bit of detail painting left on those, on the boxes, that is, for the rope handles, the hinges, and we got some work to do on our barrels. We're going to I'm going to give them a wash and a little bit of dry brushing with the silver again. Okay, a little bit of silver dry brushing on them, and the same with some of the jerry cans. We're going to give them a wash, a little bit of silvering where paint would have worn off and things like that, and give it a black dry brushing as well as a bit of a silver dry brushing, because it wouldn't have always, it's not always gone silver. Sometimes it would have sort of, they'd go silver first, and then after a bit of time that silvering would sort of start discolouring, and it wouldn't be so silver for much longer. But with the truck it would kind of stay silverish for a bit longer, because it's constantly, it's constantly being worn away in those areas. Like I said, like the door, the edges along here, they can get brushed off against brushes or trees and things like that, and bushes. Okay, so I'm going to get carried on. I'm going to get carried away, should I say, in a second. I'm going to carry away. I'll start again. I'm going to carry on with getting all these nicely weathered up. Get a wash in them. Get them to how I want them. And then we load them up into the truck. I mean, have a look at them. Okay, I'll show you them after I've done the detail painting on them and the bit of dry brushing and a bit of weathering, because I don't want them too battered and things like that. These are just after coming off the ship and they're being loaded up to the front. Okay, I also have a spare wheel here, okay, which I'm going to stick on top. It came with 2 spare wheels. One of them is mounted here underneath, and the second one then I'm just going to stick it on top top of the barrels up near the top. So I'm going to get carried away. I'm totally getting carried away here. I'm going to carry on with those, and we'll have a look at that in a few minutes at the at how they ended up, shall we say. Right, okay, so there I am. I've got it all done. It's just time to sort of just construct everything now. Put all the stowage into the truck. That's basically it. Put the stowage into the truck. I finished off with the dry brushing. As you can see, for some weird reason, it's working better tonight. You can see it better. Amazing. Didn't want to do it last night, but just tonight it's working out grand. As you can see, it's nicely dusted up and dirtied up by the jerry cans added to the side. The windscreen is dusted over, and we've got the sides done as well. Both sides are done. The back of the truck and the bed of the truck. Okay, I'm happy with that. I really am. It looks a lot better in real life than it does on camera for some weird reason. But that's always the case, really, isn't it? You never kind of looks how it's supposed to, or how it does, should I say, in real life. So that's the truck. Here's our spare wheel. That's going to be sort of laid on top of the jerry cans here at the back. Just made it look metallic. Bit of dry brushing there with the silver. Rubber on our wheels. Both sides are done, even though you're only going to get to see one side. Okay, we've got a couple of sacks. Okay, they've been weathered over and everything else. Okay, I've got one of these here. These I don't know what you'd call it. Milk churn, but they were used for water and other things. I know that. They're multifunction. Okay, sort of an aluminium container. Right, we've got our jerry cans. Okay, like I said, I've bunched together in groups of 8 because that's how it fits into the back. Okay, all weathered over. They're given a wash, dry brush with silver, a little bit of pigment on them as well. There's our other jerry cans here. Come in, Abs. Have a look at these for me. Tell me what you think. Okay. These are
so cool.
They're the jerry cans. They look metal, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, and the barrels.
They do look metal.
They do. They look as if they're made of metal, don't they?
Yeah.
And see here on the truck as well. See the size of the truck here.
Yeah.
It makes it look as if it's metal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's our truck all finished. Our stowage is all finished. 2 boxes, kit boxes and all. So now it's just a case of put everything together, put it on a little kind of a base, and do the final reveal.
Yep.
Yep. That's ready. You happy with that? Yeah. Yep. It got seal of approval from Abby, so therefore it'll do. So next step now, and the next time you see it, will be the final reveal of it. Okay. So stay tuned for that, and it'll be up in a sec. And there she is, lads. Final reveal of the TAMIYA 1/35 scale US 2.5 ton 6x6 army truck. Okay, also known as Deuce and a Half, the Deuce and a Half, the 2.5 ton truck. It's from TAMIYA, as like I said, 1/35 scale. Very, very enjoyable kit to make. Beautiful little kit. Fell together, literally fell together. I had no problems with it whatsoever. You know, typical TAMIYA in that respect. No problems whatsoever with it. I used 2 different sets of stowage. I used some German stowage and some American stowage. So we've got plenty of jerry cans, plenty of oil barrels. Even though there's two different types of oil barrels, we can say one is for fuel and the other is for oil, so we'll have two different types of barrels for that, so you wouldn't get them mixed up. Or one could be petrol, one could be diesel, couldn't it? Yeah. So having two different types, it doesn't really make a major difference. If I lift it up here and we can look in, we can see our happy driver there. Larry the driver, he's inside, he's happy away. He's off for a spin. You can get to see the engine, nicely built up engine in there. I used all TAMIYA paints. It was olive drab for the main truck, rubber black on the tyres, khaki on the canvas bits. When it comes to the jerry cans, I used NATO green, just to give it a green, but a different colour green than the olive drab. And just light aluminium then for a bit of dry brushing for the silver inside the lights and the silver on the wing mirror, which I did break off 2 or 3 times. Even when I was constructing it, I said that'll be the very, very last thing I put on. And it wasn't. I put it on earlier and I popped it off 2 or 3 times, so that was my own fault. But apart from the wing mirror breaking off, I had no problems with it whatsoever. Everything fit together absolutely beautiful. Really, really did. Lovely, lovely kit. Fabulous little addition to any diorama you want to make. I just stuck this on an old base that I had. But you can make beautiful convoy diorama with this. 2 or 3 of these trucks, mounted up with, filled up with different things, gets different storage kits and things for it. I know that Value Gear do storage for it, so you could say I have one like this with the fuel cans, one with the Value Gear storage on it. You could have one with the seats down and figures sitting down inside it. I'm sure you'll find some sitting figures. Stick a jeep and a motorcycle with it, and there you got yourself a little convoy, and a tank or two in the middle. So you can make a lovely, lovely diorama with it, be it out in the open or in town. So it's definitely an addition to your dioramas, or even just as a standalone kit. It's a lovely, lovely kit to make. So that's it. Like I said, I'm going to stick some photographs up behind after this, some nice close-up pictures of different parts of it. Little things that I want to kind of show you that I spoke about during the construction and during the painting and weathering stage. Little things that might stand out a bit better and things like that. But overall, it was a very, very enjoyable kit to make. Very, very enjoyable indeed, and I really did enjoy making it. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. Don't forget to stay tuned to the channel for further updates of various kits that I make. And on Monday for our bum, Seth and Abby will join you every Monday for a weekly update and just a general chat and chinwag. So my next project will be up very, very shortly. Stay tuned to the channel for that. And I'd just like to thank everybody for their contributions. There's some nice people making comments. Some nice comments as well, I must say. I didn't have any negative comments at all. Some very, very nice comments indeed. And some nice little suggestions as well. Things like here in the front where the independent wipers, I didn't know it had independent wipers, but apparently it does. It has independent wipers, so you can adjust the driver's wiper going. Someone did suggest even painting one of these ribs here in just plain wood, as if one of the ribs had to be replaced. I didn't go down that route, but it was a nice idea. I must admit it was a nice idea. You can have it with the ribs up or the ribs down. If you're having them down, you leave them together. If you're having them up, you you snap them off, or cut them off, should I say. You wouldn't go snap them off. Cut them off a little bit short and fit them into it. So you can have it, sorry for wobbling the camera there. You can have the ribs up and make kind of a canvas cover from a bit of tissue paper and things for a closed in cab. But I decided to go down this road. Another option then for the Zonnet is on the front of the truck, should I say. You can have it with this crash bar bumper, whatever you want to call it, or you can have it with an extended one with a winch in there. So very, very nice as well. Some very, very nice ideas, and like I said, a great addition to any dia that you'd like to make. So I'm going to leave it at that, lads. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay tuned there now. I'm going to have some close-up photographs of it if you want to see them, and just leave you with the final words, my usual thing. Don't forget, go out and buy yourself a kit, build it, and enjoy it. This is John signing off and saying I'll see you on the next one, lads. Stay safe.